Hello, I'm Rick Blackwell. Oregon's longtime governor is resigning. Democratic Governor John Bachman says he's stepping down amid an ethics investigation. There are allegations his fiancée used her relationship with him to land contracts for her business. Bachman says his resignation would be effective on Wednesday. President Obama has made his first comments on the murders of 3 Muslim students in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Now, the president says no one in America should ever be targeted because who they are, what they look like, or how they worship. The FBI says it's launching a separate inquiry in addition to a police homicide investigation. Pentagon says 25 ISIS fighters were stopped in their tracks as they attacked an Iraqi air base where U.S. Marines were training Iraqi troops. No Americans were involved in the fighting at the Al-Assad base in western Iraq. Their section of the base is a few miles away from the gates. Now, Kirby says U.S. unmanned surveillance aircraft and Army Apache attack helicopters were sent to the scene from Baghdad, but the attack was over before they arrived. As Congress considers President Obama's request to wage war on ISIS, the former director of the Defense Intelligence Agency warns that the U.S. needs to take action.
It would be foolish for us to wait until our enemies pose an existential threat before taking decisive action. Doing so would only increase the cost in blood and treasure later for what we know must be done now.
Retired Army Lieutenant General Michael Flynn testified today before the House Armed Service Committee. There's no sign of a ceasefire in eastern Ukraine, where hostilities are supposed to end on Sunday. The fierce fighting has continued as Russian-backed rebels mount a new offensive. 1 child and 2 adults were killed after a rocket landed in a schoolyard. The State Department says it's concerned.
This is clearly not in the spirit of this week's agreement. All parties must show complete restraint in the run-up to the Sunday ceasefire, including an immediate halt to the Russian and separatist assault on Debaltseve and other Ukrainian towns.
Ukraine's president says the ceasefire agreement is in jeopardy. Well, at the American sniper trial in Texas, jurors heard more evidence about the man accused of killing former Navy SEAL Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield. Texas Ranger David Armstrong says authorities found marijuana, whiskey, and antipsychotic medication while searching the home of former Marine Eddie Ray Ruth. Ruth's lawyer say that the medication was used to treat schizophrenia. We now know why Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg nodded off during the president's State of the Union speech last month. Ginsburg says she wasn't 100% sober. Speaking at Georgetown University, the 82-year-old Ginsburg admitted she had been drinking a glass of wine that Justice Anthony Kennedy brought to dinner before the address. Now, Ginsburg also admitted her granddaughters later called her out for the televised nap. And that's your Newsmax Now update. More news coming your way in 30 minutes here on Newsmax TV.